boy, we live on the latest edition of The Beat. I'm Donnie B, got the beats. We live out here in these streets, man. And look, it's the latest edition. And tonight's guest, I guarantee you, this man got nothing but abundant energy. We gonna get to it real quick, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm excited as always, and I gotta always express my humble and appreciation, my humbled appreciation for still doing my COVID pivot. That's still pivoting to this day, and that's at the Beat and all of the glorious guests that we had, and tonight's guest is going to be the new guest on the Beat Club. But without further ado, it's time for that glorious intro, y'all. Let's go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, so like y'all know, Donnie B got the beats. I'm well traveled. I've done a lot of work all across the country. I've done it for a long time. I'm tired in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is that you know what? I like to try to make sure I find the dopest individuals I can find to let y'all know that this shit is real out here. You know what I mean? Because the thing about it is that people don't understand that most celebrities that you see are just like us. They got a story, they got a backstory. But you know what I mean? And the people I come across, every single one of them has stories, bro. And they're dope at what they do. And tonight's guest will not disappoint. So I'm gonna take this back since we're in the glorious intro, ladies and gentlemen. And I've said this all of season 7, that's been the constant theme, is that season 7, I have been in the building. I have worked my entire life to be in the building with seasoned professionals, and I actually was able to make it to Grammy weekend 2023 and was able to be in the building with top dog celebrities from Elton John, the Jean Baptiste to you name it. And then I had the explicit pleasure of joining tonight's guest along with a whole bunch of other folk. Shout out to the Brass and Kev and the whole people with the Feisty Fest movement. And they allowed me to come out and be on their their event at Sunset Rooftop. And tonight's guest, man, one of the dopest dudes I know, just because personality alone. We ain't even talking music, but personality alone with this man is lit. And he got nothing but smiles in the back. You can see these smiles already. Without further ado, I'm gonna say this. I got the pleasure of having this dude, and I'm proud to say that I'm gonna call him brother. We ain't even talked about him. I'm calling my brother anyway because I love his energy. My man, TVM Killa. He's a national recording artist and CEO of TVMFAM. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Never say
I can't wait, boy. Look, you're not wrong. Sunset Rooftop started our entire friendship. At this point, you definitely can't call it a brotherhood, boy, because we locked in for life. Just know that we locked in.
Hey, you did all the hard work, bro. You did the heavy lifting. I was just, you know what I'm saying, they did try to support. You know what I'm saying?
You don't even see it as hard work actually. Especially now for me, it's like an everyday life thing. I feel like you know how it is. If you stop to think about it, it stops going. So I just mindset, keep it going, keep it moving. The family comes first, and you are family.
That part. I appreciate you, bro, and the world appreciates you, but it's all love. It is what it is. Christina King Pickett, all the way from Jersey, said, "Good evening from Jersey."
What's up, NJ in the building? What's up with
it? So we already popping in here. You know what I mean? But so Killa, where you where you at? What's it like? What's the weather like over there? Where you at, bro?
Honestly, luckily we missed all the fires from Canada. You know what I mean? Luckily, I think Drake is about to drop an album, so it's fitting. Don't get it twisted. But luckily, I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, Port City. You already know what it is. And it's been wild, bro. We got since the last time we actually met, you already know so much has happened.
Yeah.
So much has happened, man. It's me over here navigating some of the trickier parts of what our music industry is. Such a solo dolo, happy soul, and it's a hard feat to bring family and unity into the industry. It's not easy. It's not easy, but we make it look like it is.
Yeah. Music industry is not for the faint of heart, ladies and gentlemen. It's not for the faint of heart. Just be 1,000% clear on that. The people that you see out there is not necessarily the people that's moving and shaking. That's the other part of it too. Please let me know if it's all facts.
Hey, look, that's all facts though, because you never know though. Like that's the thing, and like me personally, I've been over here like I've been played 1,000 times. You know what I mean? I feel like that's actually one of the biggest things I really want to announce today. Actually, is because like with TVMFAM and me being the CEO, like I really want to put back and give back. I was trying to figure out like a way I can give back to everybody, and let them skip some of the screw ups that I've made over the time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like what I ended up doing within those 6 months as we seen each other was cultivating and recalculating what I want TVMFAM as a company to be.
Mm.
And luckily now we're powered by EDST, which is the Everyday Success Team.
Mm.
And you can go look that shit up on EDST.com. But basically we do branding management. You know what I mean? So like we do all the Spotify algorithms, we do all the playlisting. We do YouTube playlisting that's actually serviced by the label, so that way you actually get real people, real like connections, like everything, organic DM consultations, like the whole 9 yards. And like I can take any average Joe I want right now and get them like a post on fucking Billboard, and I'd be sick as fuck. You know what I mean? It's like lit.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
so good. You know what I mean? But it's like I want to be able to give like the people that I believe in the opportunity to skip the bullshit and go straight to what makes them a winning and success. You know what I mean? I want like that's one thing I miss though, because like that's one thing I never had. I never had somebody that was like really there for my benefit. You know what I mean? I was there for people to try and take advantage of, but when I wasn't shit and when I became shit, now everybody's like on a bandwagon team, and then it's like, oh my god, we just need to figure out how much we can make off a nigga. And so
Right.
like, it's been very shifty and shitty, and I lost a lot of friends along the way, or people I consider
Mm.
friends, and that's the worst part. Still consider friends.
It's an ongoing story. Trust me. We gonna align on that, and I definitely want to please put a book in on that, put a little asterisk on that because we gonna come back to that for sure. For sure.
It's a lot.
I want to take this back though because again,
Okay.
this is a celebration of you. Okay, we want to make sure that everybody get this your opportunity to talk about you, what you about. Then we talk about your brand from a step up, and then we're gonna go back out to the big balloonness of what it is that you're putting together with TVM fam. Okay,
I feel that.
but the first thing that I want to ask, and I ask this to everybody because this is a actually, I think people should start dating with this question. Okay,
Woo.
so we're gonna go with this one, and I think you'll understand why. Who is TVM Killer? Like, who are you? What are you? Or like, what is your brand? What is when somebody say TVM Killer, and that's you? What do you tell them?
What I tell them is the realest person alive, and honestly, you have to read the music to understand it. Which is kind of crazy because like my entire like logo is like the X and the V together. You know what I mean? So it's like a basically a variable over what V is, and V being me. Um, shows like you have to be whatever you need to be at whatever specific time you want to be, and that doesn't define who you can be, but that means like your potential is unlimited.
Mm.
And that's why I chose the name the company TVMFAM, because I wanted everybody to who's a part of it, who believes in it, to understand one very simple thing: nobody can be a better you than you.
Mm.
Do what you need to, do it how you do it, and you could never go wrong. Plain and simple.
You spoke
I'm
a lot.
Killer, TVM Killer, but you can be
That's
TVM whatever.
that's a veteran freaking statement. That's a veteran statement, and we go get to that too. But I'm glad that you put it in those terms, so we can circle back as to why that's such a relevant statement. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all get your pens and pads out for all of these nuggets that TVM Killer about to
I'm
drop.
about to drop a bunch of them so quickly. Let's go.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm saying. I'm already on this thing, bro. I got you.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Get your pens and pads out for TVM Killer. And while you at it, make sure you like and subscribe. I got this instant math at the bottom down here. TVM fam. Make sure you like, subscribe, support the movement. Make
Gang.
sure y'all pull up at the what's the port
Port
joint
City,
with the spicy
Wilmington,
fest.
North Carolina. Actually, we got a huge this Spicy Fest. That's the
Spicy
biggest one
fest.
that's happening. It's happening at CBT Studios, which is built by my homie Young Will, and then Bobby Dawes is the co-owner for CBT Global, and we've been running that for a while. So like, hear me out. We became the foundation of hip hop in Wilmington, North Carolina,
Mm.
because let's be honest though, the demographic is hell. It's whitewashed. You know what I mean? They've gentrified every place, even like the place that I grew up in. You know, honestly, where I was born and raised here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and Market North. You know what I mean? That is gentrified. It no longer exists, and that's just life. You know what I mean? It sucks, but like that's where we are right now. And it because growing up here trying to do hip hop, it didn't exist, bro. Like so, like when that happened, I realized like we need to take our step a little further and make it happen.
Mm.
So me and Young Will, later, Young Will specifically though, he actually built the studio from ground up. Luckily, we were able to take over the entire like building and then basically have our own venue connected to the studio, a podcast room, an event space where we could record at, green screen room, the whole 9 yards. So basically, and we turned into a multimedia studio.
You got a very keen game, a very keen eye and ear on the game to be able
Yes,
to capitalize on that early.
to see what we need, to see what we can fix, to see what makes us better. But honestly, more importantly, how we can utilize it to actually put it to people's use and be able to offer it to other people. You know what I mean? Because like that's one, like once again going back to the traps. I fell into too many traps where people made a lot off of me without actually me benefiting from it. And like I want to change. I need to change the narrative, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like I want to change that narrative and like give people exactly what they deserve. Like the artist is really trying to come up. If you want to know what it takes, I got you. And if you want to know how to get there, say less. You know what I mean? Like we can do it. It's not unachievable.
I love it. I love it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. As I said, TVM Killer and the TVM fam, man. His Instamath is at the bottom, like I said. Listen, I had already Christina King Pickett said, when did you decide to become a rapper? And also, what artists do you have on your playlist if you have one? And also some of your favorite artists besides yourself. So and let's be brass tacks. That's my sister. I
Yeah.
love my sister to death. She tried, you know what I'm saying? Like she gonna have to co-host this joint for me one day because she already asked me questions.
Yeah.
We had a whole segment for the joint, but Sissy, you just try to get straight to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
But you can't skip that. We gotta go. It's gotta go through the courses. So we're
That's
gonna
a,
get there.
that's a good one.
It is a really good one. We're gonna get back to that. And I'm gonna pull it back up so you can answer those directly for Sissy. Cool. All right. Shout out Sissy though, because you know she's asking the pertinent questions that people need to know.
Hey
And I
man,
love it for
she did it right though. She hit that shit on the nail off the gate.
That's what she did. That's why you got a big sister. They you know they like to take shit over. You know what I mean? You
Hey, looking out, boy. That's what the family about, boy.
know. so Killer, I want to ask you, man. Growing up so you in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. Growing up what was it like for you growing up? How did you overcome any of these obstacles to become the success that you are today? Obviously, we all got stories, bro. But I know
Right.
you got the dopest stories. So why don't you share how what it was like for you growing up?
Me growing up is like the full hero's tale of a Section 8 nigga actually finally coming to full force. You know what I mean? Like since I was 11, like just got into sixth grade, I've been helping my mom out for life. And honestly, and the craziest part, the reason why my brand name is Fam is because we never really had like a close connection with our family. You know how it is. The black generational trauma is ridiculous, and like black people are unfortunately the last to get mental health. So I had to sit here and witness my mom go through it, who unfortunately passed away 2 years ago at 52. So like,
All right, man.
it's been wild, boy. But like before that though, right? I've been working and providing for her, for us, and grinding. You know what I mean? Like for me, when I grew up, like I saw our environment. And that's when it like kind of clicked for me. I was like, so I see like all my ancestors, like you know what I mean, all the people on predecessors, like my grandparents, all they like nobody has the drive that I do. Because if I can sit here and make it happen, maybe not through always the best ways, but I can make it happen. So therefore I know it's possible. For me to understand that at such a young age where I feel like I shouldn't have to, and especially not like now, you know, reverse back to like where I am, I'm 29 now.
Yeah.
I realized like I've been put through so much stuff that a child should never have to. You know what I mean? And that makes it harder, but that's where the drive came from. But and even then, like I never thought I'd be a rapper though. You know what I mean? So like the origin story started there though, but the drive was at that moment. You know what I mean? Where like I knew like our success and the way we live is a live or die moment, and it depends on what I do today, not tomorrow, like how we do this now. And I ran with it, and I made it happen. And even to the last day that she died, I literally gave so much, man. I got her everything she ever wanted. I got her everything she could want. She was the happiest motherfucker ever, my number one supporter, and I can live happily knowing that I did that shit right.
Boy, you got about to get me to wind up in this joint, bro. Because I love my dad, man, and I know what it's like. I really do. And in fact, I was just talking to Big Sissy about that this morning, and
Mm,
it's just like it's difficult. But the one thing I could that you can say that I did not get the opportunity to say is that, like you said, you was able to achieve certain things that fundamentally
right.
resonated with that other person. And I've been working my entire life to achieve these things, and I've not been able to achieve them yet. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get
Hey
there.
man, that's all that
But
matters. I'm gonna get there.
hey, look, I'm gonna live vicariously through TVM fan with TVM Killa over here until I get it working. But at the end of the day, no, it's a difficult thing, and I'm glad you touched on those hot buttons because
Because like
it's
it's
necessary.
another obstacle that people try to look over. You know what I mean? And even now, like even like some of my closest circle, right?
Mm.
People will forget what it took for you to get there and completely overlook all the pain that you are actually going through and act like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I will always and forever be that same scared kid that was just working to live, bro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change. Like the pain never left. You know what I mean? Like, but it's still here. And even crazier now, the way I worked it in my mind, and the only reason I really keep going is because I realize now, even though she is gone, I'm still going forward for the both of us because the life I really wanted for us, I haven't hit yet.
Mm. Yeah.
I
So
haven't,
that's where we align. Because that's the thing. To me, I'm like where I know I'm gonna land at. Ooh.
right.
You know what I mean? And so nothing, everything else on me is not really like. So it's like I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So I'm
Mm,
just like, look, I know when this thing hit, it's gonna be crazy. I just need to have the time to work it out, and it took me forever today. I ain't gonna lie, I had to grow into my grown man body. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it's just one of those things as to where it's like, if I had the time back, I really would have made a lot more different. I'd have been more succinct in my approach
Mm.
because a lot of times I kind of just like, went with the wind
When
to
with the
kind of,
wind, yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. And I,
Like take whatever was given.
but I think that's the thing with you. Like when I met you at the Sunset Rooftop, I was always struck by it. It's just like you just kind of had this glow. Like you was just always just on it. And me, I just like, to me it was just like I always took and tried to make the best of what I was given rather than to just stay to the formula.
Hmm.
And so that's one thing I do got to call out, that I say I respect it, because whether or not you actually had a formula, it sure as shit seemed like you had one. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you had every benefit that reflect to show that you have had that formula.
Right.
You know what I mean? So kudos, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm
I
sorry, I ain't
appreciate
trying to take over your debut like that.
No, no, you're not wrong. Because hear me out. I did have a formula, and I think that's the trick though. Because the formula I had, I've already trashed it. So like, the trick is though with that consistency and like the dedication doesn't come from just like the dedication and motivation doesn't come out of nowhere. The
Yep.
consistency and you going day in day out changes what your trajectory thought of what your life could have been so
Mhm.
much and so drastically that as long as you're achieving your goals per day, making sure you're in the right vicinity doing what you want to be doing every second, you could never go wrong because the way that it goes, you could never script. So like I had a plan. I've changed the plan. The plan is working better now.
Yeah, you say it so laissez faire, and that's what's so cold about it. He just like, yeah, I mean, that I had a script, I changed it.
I changed it. It did. Like I had a script. I thought I lived by that shit. I lived by that shit. And honestly, keeping the I think that's one thing I'm happy about, like being an only child and like being raised by just my mom. Like I feel like compassion was like one emotion that like I really had the chance to like harness. And keeping that idea with me, I've been able to align with the energies that I've met around the industry
Mm.
that are actually here for my better, for like our sake. You know what I mean? Because like, let's be honest, like you're only as good as like the circle around you. You know what I mean? So like my thing is like I can make sure everybody around me gets paid. I want to make sure it's the right people.
Okay. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this, and I love that. I love the fact that you put it in in those terms. I think, first of all, I'm gonna say this in duality. There's two things I want to say. First of all, when you speak on the piece of uh, how how you connected with your mom, and having to do all of the things that you needed to do as a person that was raised by that, in that single family, single parent household. I want to revisit that as an off script question. We're going to come back to that. I feel that
Okay,
there's a topic I really kind of want to extrapolate and see what you think about that.
I feel that.
With regard to the second topic, I think that you know what, it's interesting that you put things in these perspectives because it shows, it truly does show an understanding of rudimentary business
Hmm.
that is not common in our industry. And I've long since said it in this podcast that most people don't think they don't understand how the music business works because it actually is music business. So
Business.
you have to have an understanding of business, and most people don't understand that this is not the only industry where you graduate from high school, you graduate from college, and you don't automatically become that.
No.
So we in an industry where there's people with street smarts, fresh out of high school. There's people that book smart, came fresh out of Stanford. There's people that what I mean, and everybody has different conflict and interest and perspectives on this industry.
Right.
So you got to be sharp when you come to
Mhm.
this industry. You got to be uber sharp, and you got
Super
to have
sharp. Because
yeah.
the motherfucker from Stanford is gonna be working for the motherfucker that just came off the street very quickly.
But hold on. But that's even better because you know what? They will be working for them the whole time, possibly gleaning money from that person that ain't educated enough. That's why
Exactly.
you gotta stay on your toes and on the toes of the people that's on your toes.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say I definitely want to call that. I think that's a really good aspect, and I think again it shows to your intellect as far as your approach to the game and how wise you are because that needs to be called out. You know what I mean? But again, I want to revisit that whole mom and woman thing later on. Absolutely coming back to it, calling that out.
Amen.
Uh, I do want to throw though, and I want to keep this thing moving because your time is precious and our time is precious on this podcast. When did you discover your talents for entertainment? I want that. Let's talk about that.
Entertainment, that actually, honestly, that's the one thing I feel like actually came naturally, right? Because like I didn't actually consider being a musician until like way later in the game. We're talking like 2016, right?
Okay.
So like I was in band since sixth grade, so like and like the musicness was already there because my first instrument was trombone,
Okay.
and I was a tromboner, but like the way I picked it up, it's the only class that I made straight A's in while still skipping it on a regular basis.
I know this what you mean. That's why it's funny to me. Yep. I love this guy, man. I'm serious. I feel this. I feel you 1,000%.
But seriously, I could pass all the skill tests. Like we good to go. Like if we talk about the music, I got that. That's not that was never the hard part for me. So
Yeah.
picking up on like music theory was easy. I ended up joining my singing class. But shout out Miss Hospitalis because like she's the one singing teacher that like chose to actually like like try to get me to sing. Because like when I first tried to join chorus, they kicked the nigga out immediately,
Mm.
and it wasn't even my fault. Somebody else did some shit, and I got framed for it, right? And next thing you know, out of nowhere, I'm the one, taking the sacrifice. Boom, done deal. I'm out. Won't even teach me chorus, and I'm just over here, just trying my best, my boy. And but when Miss Hospital was really did that shit. And then while I was in high school, actually, bro, she was so fire. She was like, she could kill a piano. The way she taught me is already fire. So like I learned from the best myself, right? And I told her when I was like a sophomore in high school, and I told her I was like, Cindy, look, why the fuck are you fucking with these kids? Well, you know damn well your ass need to be out here actually singing the shit. And and then like looking back now too, like hear me out. I told her that shit because I do. Like, hear me out. You being a teacher at this, I'll go to Hanover here in Wilmington. This is like the inner city school. We are the degenerates. You know what I mean, quote unquote.
Okay.
But I told Cindy, listen, you are too fired to waste your talent
Mm.
on me and any other nigga in here because you know why you're really here. I'm only here because I wanted to fuck with the bitches. Let's be honest here. Like that's why I'm here. Let's be honest here. And she took that shit. She left the next year. Went on making her next album called The Mask, and it was like one of the most beautiful pieces of art that I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I was like, chef's kiss. But that's how weird the industry is, right? So like that album still, as fire as it is and how dope it is, there's no reason why her album should have less views than one of my singles or streams. There is no reason. And that's how weird our like industry is today. And like it's not even necessarily weird, it's us being able to transition and change with the times. Music is not just music anymore. It became entertainment. We are in an entertainment industry, which means entertainment rules are very different from just like when music first started. You know what I mean? Like all the way back when you like real hip hop actually emerged. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could bring it to the streets. You can actually have this like street promotion, and it would do some super duper numbers. You know what I mean? That's when everything is physical copies. Now
Yeah.
that we're in an internet era and age, we have to either adjust like every other great artist already has, or fall victim to the wave.
Well, you know what's funny? I'm glad you said that. So a really, really good brother of mine, a really good friend of mine, DJ Prince Ice, was there from the beginning. He's my resource. He's my sole connection to the roots of hip hop. And like so his days at KMEL with Sway and King Tech and like it's charted. Like you can go back. And I
Right.
literally was just talking to him today about that with regard to hip hop and the stance and connection to and people's understanding of it. And most people, I whittle down to is most people, the understanding of hip hop is skewed. Most people think hip hop and they look at it from a rap sense. They don't look at it from hip hop as a culture. Hip hop
Mm.
is actually cultural. Rap
Yes.
is what they do in hip hop.
In
It's
hip
two
hop.
totally different things. So the culture of hip hop came from the East Coast. It came from NYC. It came from Queens, New York. It started in Queens, and it will forever start in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
But rap was transcended from that. It was developed from that, right? And so again, I dare somebody to challenge me on my math on that, but I guarantee you, it's going to start in Queens. I guarantee you.
No.
So I'm saying all of that to say is that it's funny that you talk about the position of hip hop and talk about exactly all of these things. And even in that, most people don't know. Like I work for a very prominent record label. I'm gonna leave it I leave it like that because I can't really speak on it. Right?
I feel,
I give you clues,
I
but I
feel
can't speak on it. Right?
that.
But the one thing I do know is that, and I know this, I got this on God's advice. It come from the Lord's mouth to well, from my mouth or people's mouth to the Lord's ears, however you want to frame it. Like you could be the dopest individual in the world, but if ain't nobody ever heard of you or know you exist, you don't exist.
Not at all.
And that's why the game is so. People have to understand this is not the old model. It's so many people that I talk to that ask me for advice on things, and they're like, "Well, I just want it to be like, actual numbers, and I wanted to be fair, and I wanted to have it be organic following. But if you're not marketing right, your organic following is not going to reflect the
No,
numbers appropriately. And
you
then
have to
if
play
you,
to your audience.
man, listen, so how does that make you feel when I say all of those things? You tell me.
It makes me feel happy because like hear me out. The conversations me and you have, we already understand the game. We get exactly what you need to do. We understand what needs to be done in order
Yep.
for people to take that approach to say like, yo, this is an amazing motherfucker. And what it really boils down to is like just honestly, you can even break it down to the basis of marketing. Nobody sits here and agrees to something from somebody that they've never met a day in life. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting here telling somebody who never met you, hey, do this, you're running them off their track of their mind and telling them to break that shit. and fuck with you for no reason whatsoever.
Especially if you don't look the part. You don't act the
Exactly,
part. You don't
especially if you
sound
don't
the
look
part.
the part. That's the
Yeah.
thing. But if you do look the part, right, you already know the credentials. And even better, if they know who the fuck you are before you get in the building, that negotiation hits a little different.
It does.
It just
There's a
does.
word. There's a key word, and I want you to, as a CEO of your own brand, a
Mhm.
successful CEO of a successful brand, I want to ask you that word leverage. Does that come into play with what we're talking about?
Leverage is everything. Honestly, if it wasn't for the leverage, I would not be able to have everything that I have. And it took me the longest time to even figure out what the correct leverage was. You know what I mean? And shout out, honestly, with that being said, shout out Bobby Dollars. 'Cause me and him had the longest talk actually. It was, we were on our way to a fashion show that we were about to try to work an event to see how we could like. We went to the fashion show to see how we could like work around, and then be
Mm.
able to use it for a venue for one of our later shows. And that was the biggest respect that I have for this man because when I saw how quickly he moved through everybody, get like networking, getting contacts, business cards, I was like, I thought I was fired, but this man's hustle. You went to my street smarts.
Yeah.
Bobby got some street smarts, my boy. Like that boy owned it. Like you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But
Right.
like I take notes. I think that's the biggest part of the game though. Like you have to take notes. You know what I mean? Because nobody starts out just knowing everything completely right the entire time. And like once you just break down that idea, done. You know what I mean? Cool. You take bits and pieces of what people can teach you and different mentors, bro. Like get out there, get out in the movement, and they show you what you need. But leverage is one of the biggest parts because hear me out. Even today, nobody cares that I make good music. No, no, they care that they see 60,000 followers on my Instagram. They care that I got 1 million streams on SoundCloud. They care that Drink Smoke is running and at an impressive rate on Spotify right now, and I got a great amount of like monthly listeners. That hits different. My conversations hit different. Even like the other day, actually, I hit up. I was a ghostwriter for like a couple of years, right? So like, I hit up one of the dudes for one of the songs that our ghost wrote, but it like never saw the light of day like 4 years ago. And I
Mm.
hit him up, and now I got like 60,000 followers. He only has like 9,000, and I'm like, yo, now I can say, yo, let's do the song together. I was a ghostwriter for you, but now I feel like if we do the song together, it would build your entire platform. You know what I mean? So like that leverage alone, the conversations are different. The way you approach it is different. The way you go about, the way you move is just different. And that's the most important part about our entertainment industry is that if you're right, if the name is not ringing, nobody knows, and nobody knows you. You don't have any position to be in it.
It's everything. And so with that being said, I want to transition this really quick because we need to get to the music so people can understand exactly just who the fuck we talking to, right? So I'm gonna take this opportunity. We're gonna get to this space, and in this space, we have the feature. Stay tuned. Check this out. Here's the feature. So now we in a space killer. We need to. So I got this song of yours called "Why." I
Yes.
want you to talk a little bit about why and how that came to be, and then we're gonna play it, just so people can get to understand. Like I said earlier, right before we had this little trailer,
Before I have the
why the
I
fuck they need to know
I
who.
will tell you why it's called why with the question mark, honestly. And before I do that though, the video vixen that I have for why, her name is Angie. Shout out Angie. She is the best. She is the dopest. And she just had her son Owen, and he is the cutest little motherfucker ever. And let me tell you how fire of a motherfucker I am. I gave her the best gift ever
Okay.
for her baby shower. And you hear me out. I wasn't even the motherfucker who bought it. My actual content creator and girlfriend Shannon literally bought it for her to give it to her, and then unfortunately something happened where I couldn't actually make it to give it to her for the actual baby shower.
Mhm.
And then I left it up to my niggas to like send it over to her and go to the baby shower for me while I couldn't be there because I had a show, and none of them niggas did it. So I had to come back from the show, give her the presents directly, and make sure like her baby is still taken care of. Like, and that's how much love I got for Angie, boy. Like, I got so much love. But why is a dope video shot by Outsiders Productions.
Okay.
My boy, who's also been with me since day one. He shot my first video ever, right? And then just fast forward, he shot my latest video, which is Why. And the whole thing about Why is it's actually the fifth law of the spiritual success, which is which one is that one? That one's I think it's the law of giving.
Okay.
Giving. You know what I mean? Giving in return. You know what I mean? So if you give more, you get it all. But then like my issue and my take on that entire song was why does every time I give, it always comes back to me as like way less, you know what I mean? Because like I fall in love a lot and these girls literally give me nothing in return, but then at the same time will tell me that I've done the worst damage to their life whatsoever. And I'm just shocked. And then, right, my nice ass does nothing but, even though they literally like slandered the fuck up my name to the day they dropped dead, guess who is still their number one fan? Guess who still supports? If she wants to open up a business, bitch, I'm the first to invest. What you mean? And I do that, you know what I mean? And then so like why came because like now I'm asking myself, why do I give so much? Because I think that was a lot of my shadow work. I was wondering like why do I give so much? And that's before we got to the sixth law, which is detachment, which is getting rid of like wanting the return from it. And why exists is just like understanding that space. And that was me trying to like, and that's why like a lot of the emotions that like did happen from my past life doesn't actually come out now. It's because like when I put that into a song, that is my shadow work. That is me releasing it from my head and saying like, okay, now we can get rid of it. Now I can be free. Now the weight is lifted. So I made why as a way to like brush it off, which now, and hear me out. This is some really deep insider shit, my boy. Now I also realize that song specifically, because I made a whole merch collection on it, and I had like all my new girls actually wear it too. And then they made me realize that I'm making each individual person live in the same space that I was when I was that broken. And that hurt. That hurt a lot. But like I'm continually making them live in that space, you know what I mean? And like that hurt. And I was like, oof. But the good news is that they came out better afterwards, and that was my goal for the album. Is that if you didn't understand what it was, you could still hear the frequencies. And I try to match each frequency to like the healing frequencies for that specific topic of the spiritual success. So for the giving, they have the specific frequency for it, you know what I mean? So they're basically like a healing mantra, you know what I mean? So like I try to make sure that while you heard it, you were getting healed, regardless if you knew it or not. But I'm trying to give that energy out to the world sonically.
Love it. Look, you have officially been garnered an official invitation to do a part 2. We had to have a whole separate conversation on
We got to
that dynamic alone. And I'm dead ass serious. I need to have you back to talk about that specifically because I got my own thoughts of this. And this fuck all the music. Let's talk about that dynamic right there. Because I like you. I'm a lover. I'm a fighter too, but I'm a lover. Okay.
love predominantly.
And I have lost more on that battlefield than I care to even talk about. And it's like you said, it's always you. Why you always made to be that? Anyway, we gonna get there. We gonna get
there.
We gonna keep about this music, ladies and gentlemen. I have the pleasure of having "Why" by TVM Killa. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out.
you, but I can't chase it. Can't have, but I can't face it. Heart past, we can't erase it. Hey, you will when I'm not raising. You're testing all my patience. I think I'm done with waiting on. You got me up all night thinking what I tried. Right. Make love when we fuck, it's gonna last all night. All night. Hey. You made me sing out a song like word by word. What? Do anything that you want. Shawty, you don't understand me. I made a plan for the family, my brothers, my granny, my mama, my auntie, and you. Yeah. How can you not understand me? I put my soul on the road every night at my shows, every road that I rode is to you. Yeah. I give it all when I ball, like why? You give it all when you fall, girl, why? I just get lost in the sauce, thinking why? You don't pick up when I call, girl, why? I play like I hate you, but even they know us for sure. You be chillin' with some niggas that I don't know. You can tell me all your secrets, but I don't want none. We can probably reach the top, but you don't want grow. You selfish and reckless. Around my neck like a motherfucking necklace. Only like to hit that ass if I could dress. So let's address it. I do it all for you. Thank none that I fall for you. Game time, spend it all on you. Last call, let me ball for you. I'm yours, did it done on you. Run game like it's drawn on you. I care now, you're not my boo. Just tell me you're not his too. Hey, I know that you can't hear it. Just hope that you don't fear it. You're here, but you're not here with me. I fight for a game I'm losing. You lose with the men you're choosing. That's cause you're not choosing me. You're losing me. I roll up on you like a villain with some henchmen. I don't even gotta talk, I let the pimpin'. I write it all right here just to cleanse it. I'ma stop trying. Who am I kidding? Let me stop lying. R.I.P. to your bullshit. I'ma load a full clip, put it to my head and make me stop crying.
It's like a movie. Most people say it, but it's like an actual damn movie out here, bro. Woo!
I'm sorry. I had to catch my breath for a second. This shit hurt.
Yeah, I feel you. It's a movie,
It's,
bro.
it's a movie though. You know what I mean? Like, you know them Latinos though. They grab the knife and start trying to stab a nigga. Like it just hit different. Like it's a love that like I hope nobody has to have to go through.
Man,
but they will stab you.
Man, I was man. Listen, I've dated a couple Latinas, bro. That's that kind of. I'm like, bro. That's why I ain't date no more Latinas. Because I get like, as though not saying I wouldn't again. I just saying, by the way my life is set up, the way because I love down in complete peace. That I don't need no dramas or no, and now we good, man. Like if you at this point, we gotta call somebody out, man. Like, nah, man, I'm sorry, I can't identify with your purpose. You know what I mean?
I'm not doing it. Nah, look, everything was good. It'll be great.
Yeah, negative, bro. Like but I feel you with that. But like you said, it's a touching topic because it's real, and that's 100%. And the thing about it is that you gotta also take into consideration and respect the amount of love a person has for somebody to be at that place to be able to do that. So right. There is that. I will speak on that, but at no point in time does it need to be any kind of physical, because if it starts to be physical, then we need to just go ahead.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I love my distance, but I love how much I continue the love of her future more than I did the love that we had.
Mm-hmm. What? Part 2. We gotta make sure we come back on part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I only got TVM Killer for a small portion. I'm trying to appeal to people's attention spans. That's why I try to keep this thing at an hour, ladies and gentlemen. So I
Hey man,
definitely have TVM back. Okay. But T, I want you to well, first of all, do me a favor. Let's answer questions that came previously, so that way we can satisfy, my sister, not just because she's my
number
sister.
one, yeah, not just because she used to. She the first question. Let's go.
And I do want to also talk about what you got next and what you got coming up. So the question is, we go back. When did you decide to become a rapper? Let's
I
start with that.
decided to become a rapper when my dream of becoming a psychologist. Actually, I was supposed to be a psychotherapist, and like before I got to college, right? So I went to college at High Point University. Went there for 5 years. It
Okay.
was dope. It was great. I was a psychology major. I wanted to be a psychotherapist because my grandma really instilled in me like there's no money in music. You can't really make money from music. And I believed in her. I believed in her. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. She's right. I'm gonna get me a real job because I can put my mind to anything that I want to. I got into psychology, realized after 5 years, there's nothing more I would never want to do in my life.
Okay.
And I got evicted in the same day, in that same time frame as I got expelled.
Mm.
And
I know. I'm with you. I'm not even judging you. I've been there, bro. Like, you know what I mean. So I get you.
me in college was the weirdest shit ever because when I went to college, it was the first time I've been away from my mom in my life. So like when I got there, like I never drank, never smoked, never did anything. So I got to college and I was just like, bro, there's a life out here that I never knew existed. And I was like, damn, I found out where I fit better at, if that makes sense.
No, it makes
And I
sense.
found out what really fits me more. And college is not the time to do that shit at because like you just are number one, especially High Point University. That's a $40,000 per year investment. You don't fuck that over. But guess who did?
You making it hard to circle back. I'm trying to circle back on this shit for the people that's listen. But you a CEO now.
Yes,
Right. ROI, return on investment.
Return on investment. You know what I mean? Like looking back, there's a lot of things I would have done differently. But if it was, and that's the thing, like, I actually have this one. It's one line in like my latest song, like with me and Young Will, and it's like I know a lot of moments weren't worth it, but crazy to call them worth it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So like, okay. But like it did happen. It happened. But like, and then after I left is when like I ended up going with John, who is my the person who makes all my merch. Actually, he's the drummer in the band. Me and him started making an album in Holden Beach, just out of nowhere, just like saying, "Hey, let's just try it. Let's give it a shot." Yeah. And if it wasn't for John, like Fam wouldn't exist because like we were making like TVM Killa shirts and everything like that. And then I was like, it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know why it doesn't. And then I was like, can we put like Fam on the back? You know what I mean? Because I care more about the family than I do myself. I do. And I would rather see them being highlighted than myself. And I want that every day, every time. And then that transition into like me being able to see like shirts of Fam like while I'm in the crowd performing and being able to see all those people. And like it's all, we kept the uniform at the time because like we're trying to cut back on costs. So everything's just black and white. So that way anybody who wore the Fam shirts was uniform. You came blacked out, ganged out, fucking bandanas, you know what it is, ski mask, we had it all. And it was lit because I got to see everybody unified. I got to see everybody together. So like you walked into another Fam member, if you never knew them, y'all friends, y'all find love, y'all find peace. And that moment right there is what really transcended me because at the time when I made that first album, it was trash as hell. It's on that pit still. It's called Blackout by just strictly Killa. This is before TVM got into TVM Killa. And it was me getting out what I thought like a good album should be, but before I knew what mixing and mastering was. So like what it is now is ridiculous. But that's what it took. It took me going. me being a music major, I even got a scholarship for music. Never in my life thought I could ever do music by myself. Because when you're in that like classical mindset where like I was playing for jazz band, jazz ensemble, like you know what I mean, like pep band, I was doing like every show you could possibly imagine. And I was a euphonium major when I went to college, which is even weirder.
Euphonium. Okay,
Right.
that Alma show got to be amazing.
The atmosphere is amazing. Look, hear me out. Hear me out. It also helped me with the women too, my boy.
I'm with you. I could have been in that. I'm a brass man too, so I already understand where
My
you
boy, you know the love, my boy. It's a two thing, shot it. But no, that's what propelled it. So that's why I became a musician, because I realized like if it wasn't for John, I would have never thought I could be myself ever.
Word. Okay. Good. I love this. The next question Sissy had, and I'm gonna skip to the third of her questions is, what are some favorite artists that you have besides yourself? That's on your playlist right now.
Besides myself, Dylon. I'm joking.
Dialogue.
Dylon.
That's classic in all of music lore.
I
That's
couldn't help it.
classic.
I'm sorry. But no, if we're talking seriously, Landon McClellan is because like he's also my roommate actually. Honestly, which wait. Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is in my top 5. This motherfucker
Working. He got his nipples out and everything. This is how you do it.
Top 5. What's up with it? This interview.
Hey, that's what it is.
He in my top 5. That's I'm sorry.
He need to be on the show. We need him on the show ASAP. And tell him no shirt too, nipples out and everything. We need him back on the show.
He in my top 5 because he's my sparring partner when it comes to music. I don't know anybody that can sing better or rap better, but he knows piano like it's nobody's fucking business. Like, you know what I mean? So his music theory level is like skyrocketed, but it's because he came from like a very like he was like Seventh Adventist church, like basically, you know, the church cult. But he learned music from that shit, right? And then like he stayed in music the whole way through, and he was basically the same level that I was while he was like doing the classical learnings and teachings that we both went through. And so like now, fast forward, we have like 37 fucking songs together because we just keep trying to like best each other. Like our when we make music, it's like a sparring match, my boy. Like we literally go back. Nobody has ever went back and made me rewrite my shit except for him. Nobody.
Love it. I love it. Okay. But make sure I need him on the show too. So make sure you if he's interested, I'm trying to have him on the show. We need to talk to him about his approach to the music game since you put it all out there.
Super dope though, because hear me out. The next thing, so like next time you're gonna see me and him together, because we actually have when I got a live band when I perform now, right?
Okay,
that's the one thing I started adding to it. But like he's the one that's with me, and so like we basically put both of our sets into live band music. And now, shout out Lisa, English Promotions. She did everything. We are going to be playing in Texas for the first time ever. And even better, one of my exes just moved to Texas. Shout out Jackie. She actually linked up with she linked up with somebody I actually used to ghostwrite for, which is D Blackman in the like soca era of music. Like literally like Godfather then. My boy is like so super duper fire. And like honestly having a chance to write for him like opened up my mind to like the soca mindset. And I love that as an experience. But like seeing them together, they sent me a picture of like both of them. Like she went to one of his shows while she was in Texas, and I got overfilled with joy. It was nice, and that's what we're about to be this month, actually, on the 21st. Which honestly, now that I say that out loud,
You got enough
I've
time.
done no preparation for it.
You got enough time. Trust. All you need
It's
is a week.
yeah.
Well, I love it, and then shout out to George Strait too, because he said all his exes live in Texas. So,
All my action live in Texas like I'm
and,
going straight. I was with it.
yeah. So yeah, definitely kudos. The third question from Sister, we're gonna have to put that on part 2 for sure.
Let's
I
go.
wanted to take this opportunity to give you the space to talk about what you currently got going on, not just with the Texas movement, but what you currently have going on that you'd like to share with the people before we let you walk.
Currently, actually, like really, really currently, what just happened just now, as a fact, is that we actually got a fam collaboration with Strawberry Blends for do rags. You know what I mean? And it's actually the same woman who like braids my hair.
Okay.
So like, you can see it. The girl's fired, like without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like, and she's been the one like hooking me up for like tours, shows. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she gets me right to the point where like. She get honestly before the braids, I was just a normal nigga, but with the braids, I become TVM Killa. And so we ended up doing like a collaboration for do rags, and so we're gonna have a Strawberry Blends fam collection that's coming out right now this week. The only issue is I gotta go pick that shit up tomorrow. So like I'm gonna do that. I got you. I'm gonna pick that shit up tomorrow. On top of that, what just happened and the shit that's been taking most of my time, actually, like I haven't even, bro, I thought I was fired. I really did. You know what I mean? I like the music I make, top tier. I didn't think anybody could touch it. Great. I started linking up with Barnacle Boys, one of his producers, Nothing to Need, right? And it's been one of the most amazing experiences ever. This is my first time being with the producer live in action. I'm writing everything there. We're building the songs from scratch at that moment. And I was just like, I didn't know how fire that relationship alone actually is. Because, like Metro Boomin got Future, Drake got 40. And now I understand what it's like when you have this building session with somebody who you click with so much. So much. And like when I say like the songs that we made 2 tracks and it took like 12 hours each one, and like I haven't slept for days. Like it's been because he's only here for like a week because he's been on tour for like the last 4 months. And Barnacle Boy is definitely the biggest artist out of Wilmington, North Carolina. You know what I mean? Like he just left a 4-month tour. There's nobody else from Wilmington doing anywhere near as big as numbers. And it's more so towards the EDM scene, which is where I've been trying my hardest to break through because that's the music I listen to predominantly. And now that I finally got a EDM producer, which is Nothing to Need, the stuff we've been able to make has been, my boy, bruh. I shot. Number one, I shot myself being able to even make that type of music on the spot, and then I'm shocked to where the potential has grown to go to now that he's introduced in it.
Yeah.
So like I'm happy to him. Shout out to him. Shout out to Barnacle Boy for introducing us. Shout out to Brothel too, because before I even knew who Brothel was, Brothel and like Barnacle Boy like tour with each other and they're best friends. And I got a chance to meet one of my idols because of Barnacle Boy. And we were in the studio together and I was just like, bro, this is wow. This is one of the people I mimic. You know, like the vibe and the sadness and like the heart, the cusp of what I do as in music. And I met this motherfucker. Like this is Brothel. And it's fucking Brothel. And we're sitting here in person, you know what I mean? And then like, and honestly, the crazier part, he is just like me. Energetic, happy, loving, caring. All the key components of what makes me, my brand, my entire life work. He is exactly that. And honestly, it made me like realize that I am on the right path. Yeah, that was amazing.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad for one that you found it, and you know what I'm saying. And again, the thing is that you know we all as entertainers or artists, we have to understand exactly what paintbrush fits us,
Right.
and the fact that you got introduced to new brushes, new stencils, new tools to perform your grand murals. It's a beautiful thing, man, and I'm happy for that. And I definitely feel that everybody should like and subscribe to TVM Killer at the TVM Fam, and make sure you support because I got the instant man for the bottom. You see what
Hey
I did?
man, everybody
You
should
see?
also subscribe to the BLA boy. Because hear me out, it wouldn't be me if it wasn't for him. So let's go ahead, subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe because you know part two gonna be on the motherfucking way. Let's get
Hey
it.
man, I'm trying to have an unfiltered joke, man. I might have to create a whole new platform just because of the topics that we discussed. I ain't even trying to hold you. I'm dead ass serious. We might need to do like a YSY or some shit like that. Because again, we like this again, I want to talk about the topic about women's relationship and why women had this way of turning the paradigm on a dude to be like, because the dude they'll always go into it to be like, all men are dogs, and they never understand their achieved level of blah 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 that we had, and then you be like whole time, like yeah, like, and they be yeah, you didn't do this enough. Why that's my problem. Like you know what I
You're
mean? Like
right.
it's always
We
but
gotta
people,
dive
you
deep
know
in
what
that.
we go. I'm gonna have my people call your people. We gonna talk about that.
Say less.
We gonna set that up. But saying all that to say, like I said, uh, ladies and gentlemen, we are at time with TVM Keller for this episode, but we definitely gonna bring him back. Yo, you got the formal introduction, formal, not introduction, but the formal invite to come back. So let's work it out. If you got a few minutes after we go dark on this episode, I just want to circle up so we can make sure that we lock that in. And I want to talk
Got
to you
all
about
the
some
time.
other things too. That's you see, this my niggas got it. So listen, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I got his Instagram at the bottom. TVM Killer, TVM Fam. Killer, you got any last words, any shout outs, anything that you want to share to the people so that they make sure they get hip, so they be prepared for the next time you come back on?
Yeah, all right. Look, go stream Drink Smoke right now. That's my number one single right now. If you don't stream that shit, I won't be able to send out the new single, which is going to be Reckless in the Winter, which is all produced by Swerve on the Beat, who is 15 years old from fucking UK. That nigga is the best producer ever. Let's get it. Let's go. And don't forget, be you, be nothing but you, be strong, and follow your pursuit. Don't let anybody tell you who the fuck you are. Period. That's
Well,
it.
damn. Hey, look, he live and direct, straight to the set. Amen. Like I said, look, I love when good people put their words together and keep it funky, man. I love it, like it's something new. Look, I am honored and privileged to have TVM Killer on. Make sure you like and subscribe, as I said, to this brother. Follow the TVM fam. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow Feisty Fest. They're gonna be in Wilmington, man, or the Port City, man. Make sure that y'all show
July
up
8th.
and show out, man. Listen. I might have to see if I could touch down. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't never talked to nobody, but I might have to see if I could touch down because I just want to be in the building with some shit like that. I might
Please
just pull
don't
up,
miss
but
it.
I no promises, no promises.
No
But
problem.
I might just go ahead and I might just have to go ahead and show
Don't
up and
do it.
show out. I ain't trying to hold you because this space is made for those kind of streets. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it
Right.
is. Yeah. Listen, TVM, Killer, I'm happy to have you on, man. And like I said, you were formally invited, and let's hang back for a second so we can talk about getting you back on and availabilities. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, and I'm gonna say it for the final time, make sure you like, subscribe at TVM Killer on Instagram right now. He's on TV at TVMFAM. Easy brother to get in contact with. Slide into his DMs. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. His girl might not. But you know what? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But this is, you see, it's all smiles in this man, and that's one of the things I love about him, man. One of the biggest smiles in the industry, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Um, Make sure you also, as he said, like and subscribe, follow the Beat TV LA on all social media. We have I'm booked clear through July, and I am elated to keep presenting folks to you guys. So at the caliber and magnitude of this gentleman here. But it is what it is. Stay tuned. We have a lot of work to do. I'm gonna keep bringing y'all this kind of talent out in the streets, man. And like I said, without further ado, make sure that you stay safe, because even though that we out of the COVID situation and the pandemic, that does not mean that people got to forget how to wash their goddamn hands. Ladies and gentlemen,
Amen.
please wash your hands. Please cover your face, cover your nose when you cough into the whole line. Because again, we've lost people in this pandemic. If we ain't learned nothing, please honor and respect the dead. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? And honor and cherish the people that you got with you, because you know what? People ain't guaranteed tomorrow. Those are my words of wisdom. I'm going to leave everybody with the sponsor for tonight's show, which is Imagination Elevation. And then we're going to be out, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, I'm Donnie B. Got the Beats. This is TVM Killa. We live on the beat, and we out. Here we go.
Love y'all.